Hey, I'm Butterfly.
Hey, I'm Firefly.
Have you ever wondered if we aren't being told the truth about everything?
What have we been lied to about? Join us as we have conversations and ask questions about everything. We invite you to keep an open mind and consider the unfathomable.
Let's break the chains that enslave our minds. Come on, let's go down the rabbit hole.
What is up, Butterfly?
Hey, Firefly, what's up?
Today,
Did you,
today I'm
are
feeling
you
a little
eating?
bloated. I'm feeling bloated. Why am I
Oh,
feeling bloated?
mm.
Because I think Venezuela and Iran, what
Are they giving you
I
gas?
think they're giving me gas.
Oh my gosh.
So, what we want to talk about today is um, what's going on?
What's going on with the gas prices?
Well, the gas prices in California are always ridiculous anyways.
But they're like extra ridiculous right now.
It's $10 a gallon. Okay.
Well, they're like teetering on around $6 a gallon right now.
Such a joke.
So lame. They're probably like 250 in South Carolina. Oh my gosh.
But it's even going up there.
Yeah, it's going up everywhere because of scarcity,
So
right?
that's what I think it is. That's what I think it is. So today's episode, we're kind of wondering, okay, so could taking over Venezuela and Iran, obviously a lot of people are going to draw the connection because there's oil in Venezuela and there's oil in Iran.
Mhm.
So obviously they're trying to secure oil. But you brought up a good point. Like, what if that is just that's just Kool-Aid?
I think that's Kool-Aid.
What if
Yeah,
what if oil is abundant on the earth everywhere?
I think it is because what they're trying to, or what they've always tried to push the idea of is that we get oil from these other countries. Like maybe we get a little, like a few drops might come from here, but most of it comes from these other countries like Iran. And when they can convince us that that's the case, and then we have these controversies with those countries, then it creates scarcity and a reason to jack up the prices. And I think that that's all a lie. I think that there's
Could
oil
be.
everywhere because
Totally.
they've convinced everybody that oil comes from those animals that lived 200 million
Excuse
years
me.
ago.
Excuse me. There was only so many Tyrannosaurus Rexes.
Yeah, those animals that lived 200 million years ago provided us with all of the oil that has lasted all these years.
All these years.
And we've been using it and we've been so greedy with it that now suddenly
We're at the dregs of the
we're
barrel
at the direct, they're just like scraping the bottom of the
now.
barrel to like get us what we need for our cars.
No, exactly.
And I think that's all a big lie. I think that, there's oil everywhere that's being perpetually created by all kinds of animal life and
That's
plant
right.
life.
Could
And
be.
it's not just it's
There's
not
not a finite amount of oil.
there, yeah, it's not
And
just a
it's,
finite amount that was left to us from those 200 million year old animals.
first of all, that's true. Whatever. And
That's a
then,
whole nother episode that I invite our new listeners to check out. The
yeah,
dinosaur. That was one of our early
very
episodes.
first ones.
That
But
was that the one where I laughed so hard I literally like couldn't talk.
it was one of those episodes. Yes, because you were bringing up what you were cracking up at was 250 million year old animals.
Hmm.
Because it's kind of like the Kool-Aid that they go, well, that star is 10,000 light years away. So you got to travel the speed of light for 10,000 years to get there. And that's kind of like 200 million year old bones. And,
They know these
it's
things.
this Kool-Aid. And now I'm starting to understand why they've injected that Kool-Aid into our like curriculum is they're like, let's convince these people that there's a finite amount of resources
Hmm.
and oil. And because first of all, that's kind of fear.
It is fear, yeah. Because look at all the people that are like so scared and they've like been convinced of this whole glow
Ming,
Ming as
Glo.ing.
yeah, this whole thing, and they're like scared that we're gonna run out of all these things, and so they've run out and gotten their electric cars. Well, you brought up a really good point too, which was if they really believe that there's glow warming and
Yes.
we're running out of these things.
Yes.
um this whole electric car thing that they're trying to push,
Yeah.
it doesn't really
It's not a viable
it's not
it's not a viable substitute.
no.
Well, otherwise, why would they be so intent on clearly, like, so it's the culture club that's getting us involved in Iran and Venezuela.
Yeah.
Why are they procuring like all of the oil on Earth if
If we're
they're
going to switch over to
we're going to
electric.
be switching over to electrical?
Yeah,
They know that that's not a viable option. They
right.
just want us to not be able to drive.
Yeah, so they know that we're not just going to like erase gasoline and gas
I
powered
don't think they're ever
vehicles.
going to come up with any kind of way to gas vehicles that's better than oil and gas,
Yeah.
or they
So
haven't yet.
if we really want to get rid of all gas powered cars and all these other things and we're going to switch over to electric, then like why do they even care about getting all this oil?
But then again,
You know what I mean?
that one dude that invented the car that fucking runs on water,
Yeah.
he got unalived.
Yeah.
So maybe they have the technology to run the car on water. Maybe they are doing these wars just to kind of create all of this artificial scarcity idea
That's
in
what I
order to,
think.
that's what it is.
That's what I think
Because they
happened.
probably have cars that run on water.
Yeah. Well, they probably there were a few of those guys that had that concept and they were working on those things, and I'm sure that after they unalived them, they stole their patents and they probably know exactly how to make these things happen. And
So what if they're going
oh,
to control the oil in order to keep it from all of us? So then they're going to just turn off the spigots and they're just going to say,
yeah.
well, oil's $20 a gallon. Go ahead.
Or what if like a lot of the cars right now already run on mostly water and the gasoline that we go and get out of the pumps is mostly water and it's just like fragranced with gasoline.
No way. I never thought of that.
They're
Totally.
charging us
No, totally
for
lying to us.
basically water with like the scent
Oh
of
my God.
gasoline.
Good, kind of like the nukes. What if like nukes are a big control mechanism lie? What if oil is a big control mechanism lie?
Yeah.
We don't even use oil to power our cars. It's actually just water, but they've been convincing us that it's gasoline.
Yeah.
I
Oh
mean,
my
that totally
gosh.
could be the case.
Yeah.
And they just put a little bit of gas in with the water, but pretty much your car runs on water.
Oh God, that's so gnarly.
Because then everything maybe that might not be true because it seems like I'm pumping gas, but I can totally see that kind of a deception going on here
I
because
I can see that deception.
they want to get so the culture club is contradicting themselves with Trump here. They got Trump going and procuring, like going down to Venezuela and going, we're gonna kidnap you and your wife, and we're gonna take over the oil, and then we're gonna go into Iran at the behest of Israel. So Israel is basically saying we need to control all the oil on Earth. What they want to do is have us believe that the resources are scarce and we need to adopt these austere lifestyles where we don't go anywhere. They don't want us just cruising, getting in the car and cruising.
No,
They don't want us doing that.
no.
Things are getting way harder. Like my mom was telling me up in Montecito, they wanted to have it so there's not even an exit off the freeway for Montecito.
Oh God,
And they
because
wanted to have it exclusive.
those people don't want like the dregs of society or even
Yeah,
even just regular people like even entering their little town.
totally.
Yeah.
Like, cause I'm like trying to get a job at a golf course, so I went up to Montecito Country Club, and you can't even drive onto the property. And it's like,
Oh
excuse
God.
me, like you get stopped at the gate. And it's like, excuse me,
That's so gross.
so lame. It's a
Yeah.
golf course. Can't even drive up to it and check it out. They're just like, no, only members past here. So I think that's going to become more and more prevalent in
Like
because that's where the elites are, Montecito.
yeah,
There,
like
some of them are there.
only members in this little town. Like if you're not one of them, you can't even enter the like you can't just get off at the next exit and take back roads to it. They're just trying to make it more difficult to get to.
They are. And what it kind of I think is no, 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 no. Not only are you not allowed on the country club, but what we're trying to do is make you're not allowed on the earth. You don't have membership here. You're not invited to
Wow.
participate in Earth.
Wow.
So I feel
That's
like it's
gross.
all a manipulation.
Yeah.
It's like the oil thing seems like they can play with our emotions.
Yeah. Well, I think, a lot of these wars are created because of oil and the, you know, they're fighting over it, who's going to control it and all that. But actually, I don't think we really, I don't think that's even why they're happening. They're happening so that they can create, it's like a big money laundering scheme, and they want to create fear, and they've got to have a constant war going on somewhere,
That's true
you know?
too. That's 1984.
Yeah.
And who knows that Eurasia doesn't even exist. And the 2 minutes hate is all just predicated on lies. And that's what we're running through. Like this whole Iran thing, like we're just supposed to believe all of the reasons that we had to go get involved there. We're just supposed to believe. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Exactly.
we're just, well, oh, okay, that sounds plausible.
Yeah.
No, everything's a big manipulation. And oil is one of the things that they always use as their justification. It's always about that. And there's always this weird kind of um fly.ainge.
Yeah.
That's all predicated on oil.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's a big fear mongering tactic. Like they've been successful at getting like some people really actually scared of it, which
Yeah.
that kind of it seems so ridiculous to me.
I think people maybe that's what remember we were talking about how they sprayed acid on San Francisco?
Yeah,
Maybe they figured out how to put drugs into crap that makes people terrified all the time.
yeah. Well, we've talked about the mind control that's probably being put into like Starbucks and other things.
Could it be making people afraid?
And like people, have you noticed that the typical Starbucks addict, because these people are addicts,
Totally.
the typical Starbucks addict is actually somebody, they're always the people that are on board with the climate change theory.
Totally.
It goes hand in hand. So it kind of makes sense.
It's a worldview.
It is.
It's like they're on that team.
Mm-hmm.
You drive a Tesla and you
You
pull into Starbucks and you think that oil is bad and that glowing
Ming
is real.
Earth modification.
Earth modification, you think that's real, and you think that electric cars are the way forward and that we should eat bugs,
and you're gonna
all of that.
and you're gonna go get your next booster.
And we need to get our immune system, we have to go because our immune system isn't good. We need to have drugs in order to keep ourselves safe.
Yeah, and probably our brains aren't really that good either, so getting a chip would be an
Yeah.
improvement.
So that's pretty much it. So you're going to go and you're going to take the person's order and they're going to have a brain chip that tells the person, the employee's brain chip that what they want. So they don't even have to even probably tell them.
Mhm.
When they get to the window, they just go, have a nice day. I've already brain chipped with you. I've already synced up with you.
Here's your chai latte.
Ew. What if because remember the other day you're driving and that dude had a weird cock and he was like, oh my God. And he was like exposing himself. Oh,
Wait,
I was just thinking,
jumped in the middle of that
I
story.
was just thinking,
That was so
it was
gross.
weird. Like you were like driving to Target and he was like exposing himself or
He
whatever.
was standing on the corner with his ding dong hanging out.
Oh,
Gnarly.
you're
That's
just
the world that we live in
you're
now.
not expecting to encounter that, right?
Yeah.
So what if when you get brain chip, like you sync up with people around you and now you know what they're thinking and
Ew.
what's in their sick
I
minds?
don't want to know what those people are
Uh,
thinking.
like as you go to Starbucks, so you're in your Tesla and the employee is brain chip too. So right when you pull up, they go butterfly latte. Okay, good. You know,
What like maybe they'll come up with a way to like it's like when you're tuning into different channels on a radio.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like you could like hear
You,
something you don't like, you might just be like, "Ew, I don't want to hear that," and
now
just
you're
tune it
tuning
out.
into that person's
You have to
like
tune it out.
disgusting thoughts. So anyways, I think that's true. They adopt a worldview that's been foisted on them by the media. The media has a whole bunch of Kool-Aid, and they've told us a whole bunch of lies. And we've talked about that ad nauseum.
Yes.
They've told us a whole bunch of lies. Could oil be shrouded in lies?
I think it is.
I think it
I
is.
mean, I mentioned to you earlier, we have oil wells just right outside our city limits where we live. And they're like, you can see them pumping, So why is that happening? Is if all the oil is coming from Iran and these other places, you know what I mean? Like,
And
there's,
what's the weird thing that they tell us? Like, well, they don't drill here anymore. Those wells are dry.
they're not working. What about those ones out in the ocean? Those are all dried up too.
Those are dry.
They're dried up.
We leave those big derricks out there, just whatever.
Yeah, we
It,
go to Iran for most of our oil.
they contradict us all the time.
Yeah,
We just get yeah, why are we going to Iran for oil?
I think there's oil everywhere
I think so
and
too.
not a drop to drill.
What if that Keystone pipeline was all Kool-Aid?
Hmm.
No, we didn't need that.
Yeah.
There's probably oil in them there hills right in Wyoming.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think it's being created all the time. I don't think it's running out,
It
you
doesn't
know.
seem like it. It doesn't seem like the Earth works that way. The Earth
No,
doesn't just create like a finite amount of something and then just go, well, that's it. You
that's
guys
all you
use it.
get.
You
That's
know,
all you get.
People like to look at oil as kind of like the buffalo. Well, we killed them all.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
don't think it works that way.
No.
I don't think oil is just it was made by dinosaurs 200 million years ago and it's not getting made anymore.
We've used practically all of it up,
There's
and
yeah.
there's a few drops left, but
Is it conceivable that the Earth perpetually creates oil?
and I think so.
And is it conceivable that it does that like everywhere?
Hmm.
It's conceivable. Like I believe in God, so I believe in intelligent design. It's conceivable that God foresaw that we were going to use cars for automation and travel, and that um, oil was going to be used, and He abundantly supplied the earth with the ability to perpetually create this fuel.
Well, and not only that, but yes, I agree with that. But like the people who, when if you really stop and think about it, if you actually believe that oil comes from these animals that lived 200 million years ago and they died, and so now we have oil. What about like all the other animals that have been living all these other years that
Oil.
that have died? Are they not like creating the same kind of resources? I mean,
Dinosaurs had special
they
skills.
had special something that created the oil, but like all the cows, all the dogs, all the, giraffes, whatever that die and then their bodies like go into the ground, those don't create oil.
They're not fossil fuel worthy.
I guess not. They're not fossils yet.
They're not fossils. I'm telling you. They got Kool-Aid for everything. Like
Yeah.
I've noticed because I've been listening to your episodes, you have become a staunch believer in flat Earth. And I'm almost convinced that there's flat Earth. I haven't had like the big reveal, which we've talked about. Antarctica
Hmm.
might be the big reveal on flat Earth or
Hmm.
globe.
I think that's why they don't want us going there.
But that's what I'm saying. Like they've lied to us about everything. It's conceivable that they lied to us about the Earth and the dynamics of the Earth. So everything is a big manipulation.
Yeah.
Why though? So why? Because you always got to look at. Remember that show Murder She Wrote?
Yeah.
What was Angela Lansbury always doing? She was always, "What's the motive? We need to find out the motive." And she was
Well,
probably early lesbian.
the motive is control. They so I keep thinking about
Fear.
our, yeah, fear. I keep thinking about our t-shirt that's going to be coming out soon that we will be revealing
Oh yes, yes,
shortly.
yes.
But the whole image that comes to mind is that we are like caged birds.
Yes,
You know,
that's what we are.
they want us in this cage, basically, which is, you know, Earth. They call it
The
Earth.
digital prison.
Yeah, they're like shrinking it down to be smaller and smaller. So they want us to be in a 15-minute city where we can't drive. They're already doing this like in the UK. They're like punishing people for leaving a certain area. I guess you have to pay, and they want to do that here in California too.
Yeah.
Like you'll pay a tax for driving. So they're shrinking our cage to be smaller and smaller when in fact I think that our we don't have a cage. I think that the land goes on indefinitely. So,
That totally could be
you
the
know,
case. And the other thing too, the cage is kind of comes back to oil. Oil is one of their big control mechanisms, kind of like the nuclear war, the nuclear bombs.
yeah,
The nuclear bombs, like, whoa, dude,
they've got nukes.
what do we always say? That guy's got his hand on the trigger. That
Yeah,
guy's got his hand on the button.
yeah,
So oil is another kind of gun to our head where it's like, well, no, you don't have freedom because we don't have the resources for you to have the lifestyle that your parents had.
it's all running out.
You need to understand. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, but you need to get into a 15-minute city. And the 15-minute
Stop
city,
driving.
the 15-minute city is all predicated on oil.
Yeah,
If you think about it,
yeah.
it's like this anti-oil community. And we hate oil here. We hate everything carbon. As a matter of fact, we should burn ourselves to death
Mm.
because we are carbon.
Totally. So it's funny to hear the Trump supporters though. Like he can basically do no wrong. Or even if he does a little bit of wrong, it's not really that wrong.
They
Have you
themselves into it.
noticed?
Totally. They talk themselves into it. Well, first of all, Trump has had a German Shepherd moment.
Trump has had a German Shepherd. So if you haven't already had a German Shepherd moment with Trump like we have,
Hmm.
then this may be your German Shepherd moment with Trump now.
So,
Because
what's our German Shepherd moment?
should we reiterate what a German
Sometimes,
Shepherd moment is?
sometimes we need to. We don't
No.
need to do it every time,
No.
but it's been a while since we talked about it. So, a German Shepherd moment is when you see somebody exhibit a behavior where you can't ever align yourself with that person anymore,
Like
and you kind of gotta like basically kick them out of your
yeah,
life.
they do something that is like so like just hideous or horrible or just unmentionable that
It's something that they do that you're not coming back from that.
you can't unsee it.
You can't unsee it.
And
Like for instance, we always use the example of your neighbor and your neighbor, let's call her Jessica.
okay,
So Jessica, she always tells us,
just come over anytime.
you guys come over anytime. I leave the door unlocked.
My door is always open to
My
you.
door's always open. You guys just come over anything you need. So we're over there and we're playing Monopoly.
Ooh,
We're playing Monopoly.
okay.
And then we go, dude, there's no mustard and I'm having a hot dog. Damn it. I want to go see if Jessica has some mustard,
Okay.
right? So I go over to her house and I pull over open the sliding glass door, and I go, Jessica, and she doesn't answer right away, but I go, dude, she just said walk right in. And so I walk in and I look, and there's Jessica on the couch. Now you say what she's doing because you always get mad at me.
Well, we like to keep it clean, but Jessica is doing something nasty with her German Shepherd.
Yes,
So, or her
her,
German Shepherd's doing something nasty to her.
yes, in the holiest of holies. Let's just
Yeah.
leave it at that.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
That's a German Shepherd moment.
that's a German Shepherd moment.
When
So you
she
go in and you see her and to have her dog doing that to her, and you go, "Oh my God!" And you go, "Jessica, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll leave." And she goes, "No, no, it's fine. Rex is almost done." And then you just sit down, relax. What do you need? And then you kind of go, "No, you know what? I can't really hang out with Jessica anymore, dude, because
yeah.
she's like practicing bestiality.
After you see something like that, you can't really unsee it,
You can't unsee
and you
it.
don't really want to hang out with Jessica anymore.
You're not really down."
It's just gross.
So now Trump has had a German Shepherd moment in that context where I've seen him exhibit a disgusting behavior. And I'm like, oh, now the first time that we had a German Shepherd moment with Trump, you actually had it really early too. We both saw Operation Warp Speed.
Mm-hmm.
Both of us saw that and saw what he
Operation
did
Warp Speed.
and saw that he was in bed with the culture club. Now, what's becoming more abundantly clear that that country from 1948 pretty much
Rule.
is the culture club. They rule the culture club.
Yeah.
And
And he's totally in bed with them.
Trump is totally in bed with them. Operation Warp Speed was evidence of that. But now going to war in Iran for no, it doesn't do me as an American any good. I don't have anything to benefit from some war over there other than the lies that they tell me. We're going to war for the benefit of Israel. And I'm not really sure why that country from 1948 is so intent on going to war in Iran.
Maybe they want to take over.
They might want to
Don't
take
they want to
over.
take over everything?
Seems like the Muslims in Iran kind of aren't too stoked on Netanyahu. I think they kind of don't like him.
Yeah. But
So, anyways, they've got some kind of bickering going on. Dude, we don't need to be going and getting involved in their bickering, you know? But Trump proved himself to be in bed doing the bidding of the Culture Club and that country from 1948.
and I just had like a little bit of an epiphany. So we talked about this on our I think it was our nukes episode. What if like these wars aren't even actually happening?
Totally.
So maybe they're stirring this all up and creating this whole facade and making us think that all this is happening, and maybe it's actually not even like real.
You have to be willing to have an open mind to that notion because everything that we're told is told through these two-dimensional screens.
So they could be telling us that there's this huge war. They could be shipping these poor soldiers to some faraway place and bombing them and doing mind control on them and making them think that they're, in this war zone, but maybe it's not even real. Maybe it's like
Totally.
moon landing 2.0,
Totally.
and they could be doing all of that to like basically steal money from us. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like
And
if it's not
also,
even really happening.
I think it's stealing money and it's also forging the one world government.
Hmm.
I think that's what it is. It seems like there's a lot of saying, like, if you go back to cooties, remember they killed those 5 presidents who didn't go along with the cooties protocols?
Yeah.
The one guy, the one guy, he got killed. He was a president in Africa. I can't remember. He was like, I am from Congo or whatever. And he did a PCR test on a piece of fruit.
Yeah. Like on a mango or something.
And the mango came back positive for
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
And they killed him.
Yeah.
He died.
Yeah.
So the Culture Club pretty much says nobody rules any country that's not completely genuflected to us.
Totally. And
And
who is us?
the Culture Club,
And who is the culture club?
1948.
Yes.
That country from 1948.
Yeah.
I think that country from 1948 rules the Culture Club.
Mm-hmm.
You have to capitulate to them. So they're pretty much in world domination mode, if I'm reading the tea
I
leaves.
think you're right.
They're taking leaders out that aren't completely aligned with them. And they've been doing that since cooties. And I think JFK was a leader that wasn't aligned with them.
Maybe he was like the first one that they took out for that, that we know of.
Totally. Because, dude, and so if we're going to say that, if we're going to go along that, then Trump is in bed with the mob. He's in bed with the bad guys. He's in bed with the
They're
Culture
the
Club.
mob. Yeah.
They're the mob. The mob killed Kennedy. They killed Kennedy. Why'd they take him out? What did he say? He said he wanted to splinter the CIA and the FBI.
Uh-huh.
He didn't like secrecy. He didn't like secret oaths.
He might have actually been like the real deal.
I think he was. You always get mad at me when I think that because you always think, oh no, but I think every generation there's real dudes who have balls and morality that
Hmm.
rise up. I think Abraham Lincoln might have been a badass mamma jamma too. I'm pretty sure. And I think Teddy
Oh, and he got
Roosevelt,
taken out.
he got taken out.
Yeah,
I think if you're a badass mamma jamma, the culture club's out to get you.
right.
And they do underhanded shit. So sometimes people get taken out.
And the culture club is the mob. And actually, this whole idea of like, the mafia and stuff, I think we've been kind of fed lies about that too. I think
Totally.
I think the mafia is basically the mob, which is that.
That country from 1948 and the
Yeah.
culture club. And it's not a mob but they act like a mob. They act like what we've been. Maybe the mob is a cinematic trope that they use to reveal the method.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
It's just a make believe that they said, but this is how we reveal the method.
They have these like tough mobster guys that come out with like, Gatling guns and like,
Yeah, yeah.
they look like they're doing all this stuff, but actually the real mob is the culture club.
The Culture Club, and that's that country from 1948. I was telling my mom just the other day because we were talking about Ukraine,
Mm-hmm.
and have you ever heard of the Khazarians?
Yeah.
So that's like
Yes.
people from that country from 1948 going back to like 700 AD,
Yeah.
and they started in Ukraine area, and they were the ones that, to my understanding, like the Rothschilds came out of.
Right.
And what they do is called fractious lending.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll go and they'll lend you $100, and then they'll say, "Well, you see, because I lend you $100, now I can go lend $100 to nine more people
Mm-hmm.
because of the interest you're going to owe me."
Mm-hmm.
And through this usury, they can take over countries.
Mm-hmm.
They figured out how to take over countries
Totally.
through that.
And they take over people. And I actually heard that uh way back when those people, a lot of them like immigrated into like Italy. And I think that's where this whole kind of concept of like the Italian mob
The
comes in.
Medicis.
Yeah, because, well, they always,
Oh, the Italian
they
mob.
always
Yes.
portray like the mafia as being like these tough Italian guys, but actually, I don't think that that's really the case.
That's true. That's true. And then slavery might have been run by that country from 1948. It's
Prob
coming out,
Probably.
because they owned all of the ships that went to Africa and like loaded slaves and brought them to the New
So
World.
it was conducive for them to like have this whole
Yeah, because the slaves were doing the labor for the cotton and the tobacco, and that was huge industry.
right.
And wherever there's huge industry, the culture club runs it. That's the way it always is.
Yeah.
So oil
Yep.
is totally run by the culture club. But what we're saying is Trump is in bed with the culture club. Anybody who's not blue pilled now has to realize
Yeah.
he's already shown his cards a long time ago, but now it's glaring.
Yes.
He just went to war for the culture club.
Yeah.
Iran is a culture club war. I mean, do you wake up every morning just wondering, like, what are we going to do about Iran? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think Iran would probably be happy if we just stayed out of that,
Dude, I don't
you
have
know?
any qualms with that. Do you know what's trippy about Iran? I met this girl when I was at college. She was from Iran, and she was telling me back in like the 70s, it was full on like Western civilization there.
Yeah. Well, I know somebody who like escaped from that area. I don't think it was Iran. I think it was more like Persia at the time, which is
Pretty much the same thing.
same kind of area. But like he talked about how it was just like this thriving place with, they have like discos and it
Yeah.
was like really happening. And but he escaped basically with just like the shirt on his back and started a whole new life over here because of how things went down.
I'm wondering if like the Ayatollah and all that stuff is just culture club stuff.
I wonder.
It's all culture club and it's all just myth.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any religious sects anymore. There's just the culture club has such a tight control over everything that everything's just a media narrative at this point. I'm pretty
They
sure
have to make up these outlandish tales,
they have
like
to make
fairy
a
tales.
yeah, and then they'll go kill people for their movie. We've talked about that.
Yeah, they have
So,
no problem with that.
dude, what's crazy is if that's the case and war is a lie, then they're going to just go take a bunch of our young people here over the next few weeks and they're going to send them to Simi Valley with drugs.
Hmm.
That's what they're
The
going to do.
Mojave Desert.
They're going to go to the Mojave Desert and they're going to do like training exercises and think they're disassociating in a war field. And some of them are going to get killed and Satan has no problem killing people for his movie.
No, production value.
It's right. I don't think that there's any kind of hot war going on in Ukraine or Iran. I think anything that you've heard about that is all just fiction and lies. And some people might think I'm an idiot for saying that. Dude, why? Because of what you saw on some screen, you're convinced? $250 billion went over to Ukraine.
Where did that money really go?
We have no idea. And now, how much are we going to spend in Iran?
Probably more.
Dude, how much did we spend in Afghanistan? It was with a T. It wasn't billions. It
Yeah,
was with a T.
yeah.
So they're trillions of dollars. And we've talked about NASA.
Mm-hmm.
NASA, how much have we spent on that over the last 50 years? Probably trillions.
So that they could like not be able to figure out how to get back to the moon. They were able to do it in 1969, but they can't. Like,
We lost that technology.
and we've made iPhones and the computers you can hold in your hands now, but we can't quite figure out how to get
Dude,
back to the moon.
they can probably beam us up to the moon. That's probably what Star Trek was probably revealing the method. You can probably
Totally,
get beamed up.
probably. Yeah.
So, anyways, what is a white pill? We better get the
White,
white pill.
a white pill.
White pill for this
Mhm.
one is as always, you gotta stay red pill. Don't get blue pilled by Trump.
Right.
Because a lot of Trump supporters, you've even talked to a few yourself,
They're
and
like,
I've talked to them too.
look at the winds.
They are so enamored with the wins, and that's a placating.
Yeah, because then when you point out the faults, they never seem to really see those.
They refuse.
They see the wins, but they don't see the faults.
It's like when a dude is really into a chick and she's clearly cheating on him.
Hmm.
Clearly. Like, have you ever seen that movie, Office Space?
Yeah, it's
Remember the dude goes, he goes, I get the feeling sometimes that she's cheating on me, dude. And the dude just goes, yeah, I get that feeling too, man.
funny.
I think we need to be like that with Trump.
Right.
I had this idea. Did you know that in the Divine Comedy, um, when Dante and Virgil go down through the Inferno, right before they emerge to the foot of the mountain of purgatory, they have to go through Satan, and Satan is in ice to his waist,
Oh.
and he can't move for all of eternity. And he just flaps his wings in vain, and all of his wings, all they do is just perpetuate the suffering of the souls in hell. But he's chewing on the traitors. So
Hmm.
he's chewing on Judas Iscariot, who betrayed Jesus, but he's also chewing on Brutus, who stabbed Julius Caesar.
Hmm.
What if Trump is a traitor, like a Benedict Arnold,
That's interesting.
and he is betraying all of us?
Uh-huh.
He's saying America first, but does Iran seem like America first?
No. A lot of the things that he's been doing don't seem like America
Seems
first.
like America last. Seems
Yeah.
like no more America.
Yeah. Seems like one world
One
government.
more government and I betray you. And I'm
Yeah.
I'm Benedict Arnold, and Benedict Arnold was aligned with the Culture Club,
Yeah.
which was England back then.
Right. Well, it was based in England.
Based in England, but
Yeah.
it could. You're right. That's another way of looking at it too. We come to think, oh, Britain.
Mm-hmm.
There was no countries probably back then either.
Yeah.
There probably is no countries. Everything is controlled by the Culture Club. All of it.
Maybe we're already just one big, bleh,
It's already kind of feeling like
like
that.
one big, global one world
I
government,
think
and we're
so.
just one big continent, like they
Because
want.
why look at Trump? He's just like, well, we went down to Venezuela and we kidnapped the president there and his wife. And then we're going to go to Greenland and we're going to just take that.
Yeah.
And
Probably
then
take Canada and Mexico too.
we'll probably get to that. And then in Gaza, we're just going to exterminate a bunch of people and we're going to build Gaza Lago.
Yeah.
Gaza Lago will be
It's
there.
gonna be beautiful.
In Iran, now we're going to have I'll have Iran a Lago too. Iran always makes me think of that Flock of Seagulls song.
Which one?
And I ran so far away. Anything else on this one?
Um, no, I think that was good. Oh my gosh. It kind of brought up some ideas I have for future episodes.
Every one of them does.
I know.
We're opening up cans of
We
worms.
have epiphanies when we talk,
We
and
have
that's why
epiphanies.
I think, we're hoping that our listeners enjoy our conversations and that they will spark conversations
Yes.
in their real day-to-day lives too, because we just, as we talk and discuss these things, it just opens up our minds to other ideas. We have epiphanies
Totally.
on the spot.
Totally.
We're not scripted.
No.
We discuss like topics before we start recording, but we're not scripted. So as we start discussing and diving deeper into these rabbit holes, we kind of like realize other things,
We
and
have revelations.
we have revelations. And I think that's the whole point of our podcast,
Yeah.
is to, to discuss and keep the conversations going and hopefully inspire other people to do the same, because when you start talking about this stuff, you start,
Totally.
you start opening your eyes and you start seeing other things, and you start to question, there's so many lies that I think, we maybe had some kind of ridiculous ones today, possibly, but is anything really ridiculous
It's not
at this point?
ridiculous. It's
You
keeping
know,
your mind open to that.
yeah, because I think with so many things that we've like realized that are lies, it's not totally impossible that some of the really out there things are lies too. So,
And they don't want us having those kind of conversations.
no,
They don't want people asking questions. They don't want people questioning things. I always say, why is everything got to be so secret and opaque?
exactly.
Let's open everything up.
Yeah.
My dad always used to teach me the truth fears no investigation
Wow, that's a good one. I like that.
because these people fear investigation.
Yeah,
Everything's hidden.
they don't want us to ask questions or go down rabbit holes.
Totally.
There have been headlines like that. Don't go down rabbit holes. Don't,
They're a big mafia
yeah.
and they try to extort and blackmail people. You
Hmm.
shouldn't have to do that unless you're a scumbucket.
Because if you start going down these rabbit holes and you start asking questions, you start to see the corruption and you start to see the lies, and that's what they don't want.
They don't want that.
They don't want that because
And
they got
us
it.
just having a conversation, we do you notice how we are suppressed in the algorithms?
Yeah.
That's not a
No,
coincidence.
so they don't want us to have free speech. We have free-ish speech. They say, "Oh yeah, say whatever you want and be on the internet or whatever," but they will like make it so that you can't actually like get your word out there to that many people, and they'll make it so that, you know, you can't see what certain people are talking
Yeah.
about. So,
They'll make it so like you're just screaming into a vacuum and
mhm,
there's no one hearing what you say. And they'll be like, no, 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 you can go ahead, butterfly, say what you want,
yeah.
but we're not going to distribute it
So what's the reason for that?
because they
They
do a
always
bunch
say,
of fucked up shit that they don't want you to know about.
yeah, they say, oh, it's for your safety and to protect you. No, it's not. It's because when more people start asking about these things and questioning things, then like their corruption starts to become apparent, and they don't want that.
It could be
They've
that.
got secrets to hide.
You know what happens when someone's a liar? Eventually, everything comes crashing down on them.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed?
Yeah.
Because all that happens is one of your lies starts to unravel, kind of like with Trump. Trump is going down. He's going down because I already see through him and you see through him, and we're not the only ones.
No.
And, you know, I think that the left hatred of Trump is all script,
Yeah.
but our not hatred of Trump, but skepticism of Trump
Yes.
is validated. And they don't like that because once you start to see the chinks in the armor, then you see it all the time. And they can't ever. That's why when
It's a
someone gets,
German Shepherd moment.
it's a German Shepherd moment. That's why I always used to tell people when I was down at the red pill corner, and I'd be like, I would see people get red pilled. I'd tell them stuff about cooties, and they would just go, "Holy shit! Whoa, dude, gnarly!" And you see it like clicking, clicking, and clicking. When someone's having that kind of an experience, the analogy that I use is you can't put the toothpaste back in the tooth into the tube.
Right.
It's out.
Right.
That's what's going to happen with humanity, I think.
Yeah.
I think the culture club, because remember we were just talking about how it seems like maybe JFK was a good dude. He
Mm.
might have been the real deal Holyfield. What if there are times in human history where good prevailed and justice prevailed.
Mm,
I've heard about that.
mm,
We haven't known it in our lives,
no,
but I've heard that maybe it exists. What if we're coming into a time where good prevails
that
and
would be
justice
amazing, wouldn't
prevails?
it?
You know,
And I think, a key way to like help that whole thing and make it happen is to talk about it.
keep talking, keep
Yep.
talking.
Yep. So if you like this episode, share it with a friend.
Also, we're doing a lot on Insta now.
Yeah.
So Instagram, go find us at Unslave Your Mind, and we're do
Podcast.
podcast, Unslave Your Mind podcast, and go to X, Unslave Your Mind podcast. There, we've got a presence on X. But the Chat GPT informed me of how it works.
You only get five viewers.
Yes,
We're getting throttled on Instagram again too.
it's like so. What basically happens when you post something on X? This is my understanding. We show it to about five people, and if
And
they
if
don't
they don't
if they
like,
don't like it and reply and say they love it and follow you, we don't show it anyone else.
yeah,
And that is unfortunate for you. You're just not popular.
yeah, with those five
Ah,
people.
but but Stu, he just goes, dude, let's go start a podcast.
Yeah.
Go to war.
I don't know about Stu. I I haven't had a German
Well,
Shepherd moment completely with him. I
yeah,
except for the fact that he had 7 listeners on Facebook, and then like overnight he had 2 studios in 2 different states and like a
yeah.
million followers. That's kind of a German Shepherd moment.
Well,
But
that's the thing. I mean, we're doing it now. How did he get so big?
yeah, I don't know.
Is he just charming?
Well,
He's got a model body.
I think your theory about him might be right. I don't know that he is speaking truth, and the what they're doing is collecting data on all of his followers. So
Yeah,
they're basically anybody who follows Stu,
that's what I think.
they're gonna round up and
That's
kill.
exactly it. Because
It's
now,
the harvesting
totally, because
connection.
now you got your real ID and all of your online presence is included in your real ID when you go check in at the airport.
Yeah,
So, oh, you listen to Stu Peters. Oh, well, we
you
know,
can't get on this flight.
yeah, the anti-Semite czar has said that you're not allowed to fly.
Yeah.
I could totally see that being the case. He tells the truth. I don't think he's a good guy though, because he's kind of like Tucker. Tucker seems like he tells the truth too.
Oh no.
But you're foisted,
Yeah.
bro.
You know who I think might actually be the real deal? Ben Swan.
Never seen him.
Do you ever listen to him?
No.
He's a journalist that I think he was like on a major network and then he left or something. I'm not sure the whole story, but he does stuff on Instagram and stuff. He's got like a studio, obviously, like he's very professional, but he seems like he might be the real deal.
I was talking with my mom last night and I was trying to explain to her about the 60s. And I was like, I think we should do an episode on how the 60s counter revolution was um, it was born out of an organic, like my mom's generation, a lot of them hated the war in Vietnam
Oh, yeah.
and were totally opposed to it. And
Yeah.
they really felt it in their hearts. That was how and they were right, because the war in Vietnam was a culture club war, kind of like Iran, what
Yeah.
we're doing now. So they didn't have a good feeling about it. But I think what happens is the culture club hijacks the movement.
Oh, right.
So that might
Totally.
be what's going on is, we had kind of an awake movement
Hmm.
after cooties. You and I aren't the only ones.
Oh my gosh.
See,
Yes, they hijacked it. So now they've got all their controlled opposition, like, you know, like alternate media people
that's how they do it.
kind of leading the
And
way.
I think, like Stu Peters is kind of like one of those dudes
Mm.
that they use him to corral the awake
Mhm.
people into him because, well, this is what I always say. I think he's a data collector and he's also a black pill. I feel like it. I feel like he's a black pill. I feel like he just kind of goes, "Yeah, we're screwed, or we got to go to war." He's got like, I'm gonna go kick some ass.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't know. I don't trust him, but if he's saying the truth, he's saying the truth. And if he is on our side, that's good. But I need to be satisfied of a suspicion, which is, how do you do
How,
that, dude?
right. Yeah.
I'm doing it right now.
So
How come you're
Stu
allowed to say
so
that,
Stu
but I
Peters,
can't?
if you're listening or getting like synopsis of our show, like we think controlled opposition is getting,
Yeah, address
contact
that.
contact us
You don't have
and
to. You don't even have to contact us.
let
It'd
us
be
know.
cool if you did, but address it on your show.
Address it, like, yeah.
Say I am not in bed with that country from 1948.
And also, this is how I went from 7 Facebook listeners to overnight having
Yeah,
2 studios and like,
totally,
you know what I mean?
totally.
There
Well,
must have
like,
been funding coming from somewhere
well,
because
yeah,
because we're about to move into a studio pretty soon,
totally.
and it's not going to be like the flashy kind of thing that Stu Peters
No,
has. You know what I mean?
and he's got two of them,
And
and then
it's like we have to fund it ourselves. Like we're gonna have
well, what I want to
jobs to
know
fund
is,
this thing until we can make some money.
yeah, that's
You
true.
know.
And Stu, tell me, how long did it take you to build up your audience? How many
Mm,
episodes did you have to put out to build up your audience? Because we've put out 160 so far, and we're still just being throttled by the algorithms and
right.
trying to break out, and you have to, it's time consuming. I
Hmm.
spend a lot of time doing like social media clips and posting the episodes.
Yeah,
What, he just had all that time, plus he was getting divorced and raising two kids,
I
and
know.
it just seems something doesn't add up.
Something doesn't add up.
And if something
Yeah.
doesn't add up, I've learned to be like, that's culture club.
Yeah.
That's very culture
Well,
clubby.
we've both figured out in these last several years that when something doesn't add up, there's more to the story.
It's kind of like,
There's more to the story.
totally, it's kind of like when someone has opaque funds and is
Mm.
able to just take his girlfriend to go for like 10 days to Monaco.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like, well, what do you do? Well, I sell vitamins. Oh, wow, that's interesting. It must be very lucrative. It is. Let's go take a $10,000 trip right now.
Yeah.
I think when that's suspicious to me. When someone has opaque funds, that's suspicious.
It's suspicious.
When somebody has a huge audience
Overnight.
overnight and they're saying things that I'm not allowed to say, I'm suspicious of that.
Yeah, totally.
So, anyways, I hope Stu's the man. I do. I hope he is.
Yeah.
I hope he's the man, and I hope that Alex is the man. But I have a sneaking
Hmm.
feeling,
Alex isn't the man.
yeah, it's
I
not
don't
the man.
think Alex is even Alex anymore.
Alex is the clone.
Uh,
Should we call it?
I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.